Joining me now, former governor of Missouri and current candidate for the United States Senate, Eric Greitens. Eric, first of all, can you please respond to that statement from Michael Moore? Hey, he's gone off, he seems to always go off his rocker, but this has got to be the worst thing we've ever seen from him.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting, Natalie. It is completely disrespectful to the victims of Colorado, and it's just another indication of the kind of lunacy of the left, which you've done such a good job of pointing out on your show. You look back at what happened over the whole summer of 2020. They think Americans forgot. We watched as looting and rioting and arson took place in cities across America. And what did the left do? They called for defunding the police. And now, as they're promoting criminality, calling for defunding the police, they want to take away our right to bear arms. Well, Natalie, I can tell you, as a Navy SEAL, as a fighter for the people of the state of Missouri, this is one of the reasons why I'm running for the United States Senate, is to stand up against this lunacy from the left.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, what made you decide that you wanted to run for this seat? When you heard that he was retiring, what made you make that decision? Was there one issue in particular that just triggered you to say you'd had enough?
Well, Natalie, first of all, I just want to thank the people of Missouri. We had tremendous grassroots support from people across the state of Missouri, people who are big supporters of President Trump and his America First agenda. And they said to me that they're tired of rhinos. They're tired of people who are weak, that they want a courageous fighter who's willing to stand up and to fight for them. And that is what I have always done, Natalie. And in fact, when Antifa came to Missouri in 2017, when I was governor, I stood side by side with our police officers, and we were very clear. We protected everyone's constitutional rights, and we defeated Antifa by supporting our law enforcement officers. And today, we've got to have leaders who are willing to stand up with courage for President Trump's agenda, stand up for the Second Amendment, and stand up for law and order across this country.
I want to ask you, President Trump always said, they're not after me, they're really after you, I'm just in the way.
Right.
You see what's happened since he's left office, that they're now saying Trump supporters should be targeted as domestic terrorists. Whereas, as you say, Antifa is rioting in the streets, they can attack buildings, but as the current Attorney General is now saying, oh, because it happened at night, it doesn't matter. There is a dual system of justice going on in this country right now. The Senate, as you know, is not in a good situation right now, especially with the rhinos that are there that don't have the courage to stand up for what's right. We saw it all in the last few months, too, really separating the never-Trumpers, the rhinos, whatever you want to call them. They're not Republicans. How do you see 2022 setting up? Also, the biggest concern right now, Second Amendment's always been a big issue, but election integrity really is the key issue for 2022. How do you think you can definitely win based on what we saw in 2020? Now, Missouri wasn't necessarily one of the main states where we saw this going on, but now that they know they can get away with it, I'm sure we're going to see it in a lot more places. How do you think you're going to win? And if you do win, what are you going to do in the Senate to make sure that then in the presidency in 2024, we can actually choose who our president is?
Yeah, Natalie, that is the issue that is facing the country, is that we need to have Americans stand up and fight together. I'm in this race for the United States Senate to protect the people of Missouri that we are seeing from these lunatic policies that are coming from Joe Biden, that are coming from Chuck Schumer, that are coming from Nancy Pelosi. We need to have fighters who are willing to stand up to protect people. And that's exactly why I'm in this race. And, you mentioned the Lincoln Project. I'm proud to say that today the Lincoln Project just came out and attacked me. The same way that the mainstream media, the same way that the left, the same way that the establishment and the swamp went after President Trump, they're coming after me, Natalie. They come after people who have the courage to fight them. And I tell you what, we are not afraid. And I would tell all of your viewers, congrats on the new show, by the way. It's awesome. I would tell all of your viewers, we can do this together. Get involved in your local community. Find ways to join the fight, because we can take back our republic.
Well, I love how you see it as a badge of honor, because it is when the Lincoln Project comes after you. But this is what They're part of the radical left. I'm sorry, let's just call it what it is. They're part of the radical left. They're raising money for them. But they like to use names like, oh, the Lincoln Project. See, Abraham Lincoln would be on our side. Oh, we're Republican. No, you're not. You're really a Democrat in disguise. You see things like Karl Rove raising money for Adam Kinzinger. You see what the swamp is trying to do, the establishment. They're so happy now that they're back in power, but the people are upset by that. How do you think in your race, since you like to go against the establishment, since that's what you're known for, how are you going to run a grassroots campaign that's really donor voter first, where it's small donors first? Are you going to take any money from super PACs if they offer it to you, or are you going to lay down the groundwork for that?
Natalie, I'm honored to tell you that already we have thousands of people who've already signed up to volunteer with us, to serve with us, to stand with us. The people of Missouri recognize that we can beat the establishment. You know, when I was governor, I killed a politician's pay raise. I ended a corrupt insider lobbyist tax credit program. I slammed shut the revolving door between the executive branch and lobbyists. And just like President Trump, every day he had to fight the left, he had to fight the mainstream media, he had to fight the swamp. We have to do the same thing. And what I want to encourage people to do is to get involved. Find ways to get involved. If you want to get involved in our campaign, you can join us at ericgreitens.com, EricGreitens. But do things like taking your show. Tell people that you're watching. Let people know on social media. Let them know via emails and newsletters that you're engaged, that we can take back our republic, because we can absolutely win this fight, Natalie, and our country is on the line.
The biggest thing about 2022 really is going to be we can't fall into that pattern of being disenfranchised as we are. We have to figure out a way forward. We have the right to vote in this country. It was taken away from us back in 2020. We have to figure out a way to get it back. But Eric, we're going to be watching your race, and thank you for coming on the show and talking to us, and we're going to be keeping track of how you're doing.
You bet, Natalie. Thank you so much.